Dee Dee has been mentioned several times on Coronation Street since her father, Ed Bailey, Trevor Michael Georges, and her mother, Aggie Bailey, Lorna Laidlaw, moved to Weatherfield with her two brothers 3 years ago. The third child of the Bailey family is known for having made a success of her career and currently lives in Belgium. However, viewers of the ITV soap might finally discover why she has been so busy with work and doesn't make a visit to the cobbles as she surfaces to take Debbie Webster, Sue Devaney, for every penny she's got. In Friday night's episode, Debbie asked Ted if he could do some maintenance of the hotels she had taken over when Ray Crosby, Mark Frost, went to prison. Although he had a lot of work on his hands, the construction worker was swayed to go and have a look and see what needed fixing. With his brother, Ronnie Bailey, Vintha Morgan, dating the hotelier, the builder believed there wasn't too much to worry about. Unfortunately, when he tried to take a closer look at some of the electrical work, he was electrocuted quite badly and ended up in the hospital. As Aggie arrived to be by her husband's side, out in the corridor of the hospital, Debbie admitted to Ronnie she hadn't had the electrics checked since she took over Ray's property portfolio. However, the businesswoman was unwilling to accept the blame for Ed's ordeal, although she would be the first person to blame. When she visited Ed on the ward, she told him and Aggie how it was all Ray's fault and how he didn't have the maintenance done properly. Aggie wasn't so easily swayed as when she realized the businessman had been in prison for the past year or so. The person who had taken on the hotels would be at fault. As Debbie explained she was the new owner, Aggie remarked, "I knew it, I've just realized that you have not once said the word, sorry." Trying to keep the blame off her shoulders, Debbie replied, "We don't know if that's appropriate until we can find out exactly what's gone on. You just don't want to accept liability," Aggie declared as she was getting angrier by the second with the businesswoman. "Get out and expect a call from our solicitor," she told Debbie, who swiftly left the room, worrying she was going to lose a lot of money. With Ed in a bad way and needing some support, Aggie could call on their daughter to come to Weatherfield and see them. It could emerge Dee Dee is actually a first-class lawyer, who hasn't been able to visit the cobbles due to the big cases she has been working on. As they, too, cannot fork out for some big-shot lawyers, the couple could think Dee Dee would be able to act on their behalf. Seeing the state her father is in, Dee Dee could catch the next flight to Manchester and agree to stay with her parents to take on the law case. Knowing every trick in the book, she might be able to win the case for them and rinse Debbie for insurance for her father. This could leave the businesswoman with very little to her name, but she could also face prison time for not having her hotels in proper order. Will Dee Dee get Debbie sent down for years for what she did to Ed, or will the businesswoman get away with her crimes? The executive producer for the show, Ian MacLeod, has spoken on several occasions about bringing Dee Dee into the show. How well do you know your British soaps? How many times has Ian Beale been married in EastEnders? What is the name of Bianca Jackson and Ricky Butcher's son on EastEnders? On EastEnders in 2002, who accidentally ran Jamie Mitchell over in his car which caused his death? How many times has Corey's Steve MacDonald been married? What happened to Emily Bishop in Coronation Street? Who murdered Maxine Peacock in Coronation Street in 2003? Which incident in 1993 killed off 4 characters in Emmerdale? When did the show stop being known as Emmerdale Farm? On what day did Hollyoaks air its first episode? What was the name of the much-loved Coronation Street pet dog who was put down in April 2020 after 14 years? 1996 saw the arrival of one of Hollyoaks' all-time bad boys and rival of Kurt Benson, but who was he? Who is the longest-serving character on Coronation Street? Who shot Phil in EastEnders? How many fires have there been at Corey's Rover's return? Get out of my pub, you're no soaps fan. You're either too young to remember the big lines or have better things to do on weekday evenings. Casual viewer, you watch them sometimes so you kinda know what's been going on. Die-hard fan, you love watching the soaps so much your entire week is planned around when they air. Told Express. Co.uk and other media. Back in 2020, there are no plans at the moment to introduce Dee Dee, but I am desperate to meet her as she sounds like a brilliant nightmare. But not at the present time. We wanted to make sure that the Baileys we've already met had a chance to bed in before we hit them with a meteorite from outside. She's certainly on the table and will make an appearance at some point, but there are no immediate plans, he added. But 2 years later, could the idea of bringing her into the fold be on the horizon? When the Baileys were first introduced 3 years ago, Ian explained what type of character she would be and how she would still be a presence. The soap boss said, in age terms, she's halfway between James and Michael. Ian added in an interview with Express. Co.uk and other media, she's called Diana after Princess Diana. Her birth will have roughly coincided with the death of Princess Diana. So, she's called Diana, Dee Dee, or Princess as her brothers call her. We're imagining she might be an off-screen presence for a while. She's a source of comedy friction around the dinner table of an evening when they're sat down having their tea, he added. Will she be a power force not even Debbie can conquer as she destroys everyone and everything that stands in the way of her success?